Hey YouTube, Mark here with another fragrance review, this time on the designer house of Jean-Paul Gaultier. This fragrance house, of course, made famous with their top seller across the world. One of my favorite designer fragrances of all time. You guys know it, Le Male. Well, we're going to be taking a look at one of their underappreciated, underrated, I would say, fragrances in their repertoire. This one called Gaultier2. Now, Jean-Paul Gaultier, if you know him, the designer house, if you know a little bit of their fragrances and the clothing of this brand, they really are basically unisex. You really see he has no boundaries. Men, women can wear the same thing. Fragrances, same thing. A lot of his fragrances are on the cusp of being unisex. Yes, they're gender related. There's the men's section and then there's the women's section. But a lot of their male fragrances can be worn by women. Just look at Fleur du Mal. I know some women do actually wear Fleur du Mal. So it was in 2005, it was finally time to release their very first official unisex fragrance, which is this one right here, Gaultier2. Now, as you can see here, there's two bottles. This fragrance does come with two bottles. The reason why Jean-Paul Gaultier wanted two bottles, wanted to go back to the roots of fragrances where there was no gender. So basically the reason for this fragrance is you buy it, you get two bottles, and then you give it to your significant other. Male, female, doesn't matter. So that was the reason for the two bottles. Personally, for me as a collector, as you guys can see the bottles surrounding me, and as a fragrance reviewer, I believe fragrance shouldn't really have a gender. I've purchased in the female aisle, male aisle, unisex, you name it. I can wear basically 80% of the fragrances on the market today. I'm not a huge fan of the huge florals in the women's section, but other than that, I can wear women's fragrances, the sweet ones especially. So let's get to it. Let's take a look at packaging for Gaultier2. Alright guys, let's tackle presentation, the bottle in the box for Gaultier2 by Jean-Paul Gaultier. Let's take a look at the box. And as you can see here, this is actually embossed Gaultier, all of this actually. With the parfum, yes, it's an EDP. I got the 2 by 40 ml, so there's two bottles in here. The love circle, the love code, I'm going to explain it a little bit. It's just a pendant that they gave. And you'll see, I'll explain it. The love code again, are you in the mood for love? And some information at the bottom. There you go, that's basically it for the box. Now, what's this love code that they're talking about? Well, my bottle came with this. I'm like, okay, it's okay. Then there's a little message, so I'm like, oh, okay, they're probably going to thank me for purchasing it. Nope, there's actually two pendants on here. You crack it open, you keep one, and then you put the other one in this envelope, and you give it to your loved one. And you both wear these pendants around your necks to show your love. So I'm like, alright, so I keep mine in the middle of my two bottles, because there's no way I'm wearing this goofy stuff. Anyway, there's the two pendants. You crack this, and then you give the other one to your wife. And it says a bunch of sappy stuff. I don't see anyone really wearing this around their neck unless they're one of those couples that, you know, wear the same outfit, go for a walk with their little chihuahua, which also has like a little coat that matches the couple. I can see a couple like that wearing this, but anybody else, this is just a marketing ploy. Let's take a look at the bottle. As you can see, it's two bottles, which is alright. So the thing is the whole idea of this, like I told you in the introduction, is you give one to the woman in your life or the man in your life, and you both have a bottle, which is okay. For a man or a woman, if you don't have a significant other to give it to, or they don't want to wear it, you can have one at work and one at home. So it's kind of cool that you can separate that like this. And of course, they do have magnets, so they don't, boop, they go together like that. So let's take a look. The cap, very cheaply done, very thin, and there you go. It's got Gaultier2 on each side, and this is what it looks like on this side. They're both exactly alike, and Gaultier2 on each side, and there is a sticker on both, under both of them, and they go together like that. So there's your presentation for Gaultier2. Alright guys, let's tackle bottle size for Gaultier2. Obviously it's a little different. You get two bottles instead of one. I've seen some packaging with just one of the bottles instead of both. But I'm just going to say it comes in 20 milliliter bottles. You can get two of them. 100 milliliter bottle and then 40 milliliter bottles, which of course is these ones right here. This is an EDP, just to let you guys know. Pricing American, you're looking at around $50 to $100 American to purchase this fragrance. I know in some countries this fragrance has been discontinued in some countries, so you can actually get it at a discounted rate, so definitely look around and see if you can find it. But in some countries it's still available at that retail price. Now Gaultier Squared, of course, got released back in 2005. Has it been in my top 20 list? No, but it has shown up in my good and the bad and the ugly series, where I just tackled a Gaultier fragrance house and tell you which is the best seller, my favorite. This one won the most underrated from the house. So just to let you guys know, this one's kind of behind the radar. So a lot of people don't know about this fragrance. So it's something that I would definitely recommend to somebody if you're looking for something that not a lot of people know about. Group, this is an Oriental. Parfumier, of course, is the guy that did Le Male and a lot of fragrances for the Jean-Paul Gaultier fragrance house. This guy is a well-known parfumier. His name Francis Curdigian. He has his own niche house now, doing great fragrances and still doing some for Gaultier. Recommended age, obviously, as I said in the introduction, it's unisex. I really think this one is going from the teens right up to your 30s or 40s. I really think this one really has no age. It's got a sweetness to it, so if you don't like sweet fragrances, stay away. Vanilla-based fragrances, stay away. But unisex, teens to late 30s. Some say this fragrance is more feminine than masculine, so if you have a problem with that, again, stay away. Personally, I think a man can wear this. I actually wear this quite a bit. It is in my rotation, so a good one for men. So don't be scared that this is in the feminine aisle. Go sniff it out. How many sprays and wear? This one's really potent. For guys that like heavy fragrances that, you know, last, longevity, projection's great, this one has it. I go 1 on the chest and 2 on the neck. I try to stay away from this area right here. You don't want to spray, this thing can get cloying. So I try to go behind the ears, in the back here. Back of the neck's also good. 3 sprays, you're good to go. This one does have a flanker. It's called Eau d'Amour. I have not smelt it, but I am actually kind of interested to see what it smells like. Notes, let's take a look at the notes. There's only 3 notes in this fragrance. They're not in a pyramid. They're basically vanilla, amber, and musk, and you're going to smell mostly the vanilla and amber in this fragrance. There is a little more to this fragrance than those 3 notes, which I'll let you guys know when I sniff it. The musk, not much, not a big player in this fragrance. Let's sniff out Gaultier Squared and I'll tell you what it smells like. Alright guys, let's sniff out Gaultier Squared. I'm going to let you guys know what this fragrance smells from, of course, top to bottom. I'm just going to give myself a little reminder here. Let me know what this smells like. Alright, now, what do I get from this fragrance right off the bat? You can't miss it. Nowhere can miss it. It starts off with a huge vanilla cloud, tons of sweetness. So right now, be aware. If you don't like vanilla, if you don't like sweetness in your fragrances, stay away. The sweetness in here, some say has like a bubblegum-like sweetness. I'll get back to that later. Now, this start of this fragrance can get cloying real quick. Again, when I said in my how many sprays and wear segment, I said to try to stay away from this section right here when you're spraying. I recommend not to wear this in the high humidity, high heat. If you do, you're probably going to start hating this fragrance. It really does get cloying real quick. Now let's get back to that bubblegum sweetness. It does have like a sweet candy-like vibe. Not too candied, kind of grown up. Maybe candied is the wrong word for it. You know, it doesn't remind me of like pixie sticks or pure sugar. It doesn't really remind me of like gummy bears or something like that. But it does remind people of bubblegum. Candied grape. Some people get candied orange. So there is a candied way of, there's a sweet candy-like vibe. Now the sweetness does come a little bit from the vanilla, of course, you can't miss it. The vanilla itself, it's almost like burnt, like a burnt vanilla. It almost reminds me of a vanilla candle, that type of feeling. It has some caramelized amber, maybe honeyed is probably a better word. So there's some sweetness here. Now the amber is not too potent. I just wanted to add that. It's just soft enough to be there. So this is not an amber based fragrance, no. But it does have some amber with the vanilla. There's a small addition of musk in this opening. Now as you can tell, vanilla, amber, and musk, I've named it all off the top. This fragrance doesn't change much, it doesn't morph much. From top right down to the bottom, you're going to get all these notes. Now, I believe there's orange blossom in this fragrance. This is where this fragrance, that orange blossom would kind of give you that sweet candied smell, that bubblegum smell that you smell. That would explain it definitely. So I think there is orange blossom in this fragrance. A good way to explain what orange blossom smells like. A lot of people have purchased this fragrance or smelt it. 1 Million by Paco Rabanne has a huge wallop of orange blossom, and people say, oh, it smells like bubblegum. I don't know why people would wear that. This has that same feeling, and that's why I say it has orange blossom in it. It really does remind me of that. Does it smell like 1 Million? No. But that's a good way to say this is what this candied sweetness smells like, that orange blossom. Now in the mid, the development of this fragrance is very much minimal. The only real big change is that orange blossom, bubblegumish smell kind of calms down. The amber kind of comes up, takes over in the mid. Doesn't make much of a difference in this fragrance, to be honest. Vanilla spiced candle, kind of like that. It has a little bit of spice to it. In the mid, sometimes this fragrance gives me a powdery vanilla aspect to it. So it's going to turn some guys off right away. It's going to remind them of a feminine fragrance. This is too feminine for me. Now this part with the vanilla spice to it, there's some sweetness to it. Some people say that it has like a boozy aspect. To me, what does it smell like? It smells like, this part reminds me of a root beer float at A&W. If you ever had one of those, root beer in a cold mug with a big scoop of vanilla ice cream in the root beer. That's it. It's got like that vanilla ice cream and sugary root beer in a cold glass. Some people say it reminds them of booziness. For me, no, it's more like a root beer float. Some wearings, I could smell a buttery almond-like feel, kind of like a Givenchy's pie, another vanilla benzoin-like fragrance near the end of the life of this fragrance. So in the base, basically, same thing. Vanilla goodness keeps on rolling. It's got that sweet buttery feeling with a little hint of musk, and that's it. Not much changes in this fragrance. Let's get to the overview. I'm going to let you guys know what this fragrance is to me. Alright guys, it's time for the overview on Gaultier Squared. This fragrance is very sweet. Is it gourmandish? Well, kind of tippy toes into that field. It is a linear fragrance which lacks much development. Now the fans of really sweet fragrances, think Roche Amand, Yop Homme, and vanilla-based fragrances, of course like Le Male right here, and Givenchy's Pie, you should really take a flyer on Gaultier Squared. Sweet vanilla goes hand in hand in Gaultier Squared. You're going to absolutely love this fragrance. I'll put money on it. Now I'm going to tackle a nasty, dirty little rumor on Gaultier Squared. Is it discontinued? You hear it from some places like Base Notes and fellow reviewers that are saying this is a discontinued fragrance. Well, good news, bad news, depending who you are. It is available in some parts of Europe. In my travels, I've stumbled upon Gaultier Squared in retailers. So it is available in some parts of the world. I believe it's discontinued in some countries. Australia might be discontinued, North America I believe. It is also still available on Jean-Paul Gaultier's official website, so if it's not available in your country, perhaps you can buy it online. Now for a vanilla-based fragrance like this, your overall forefront of this fragrance is going to be sweetness and vanilla. With Gaultier, no stranger to that. From hour 1 to hour 10, it's going to be a vanilla blast. But this one has some warming qualities to it. It has some spice, kind of reminds me of vanilla spiced candle. Sometimes it reminds me of a A&W float, which of course consists of root beer and a vanilla ice cream on top of the root beer. And sometimes it kind of reminds me of a nuttiness, almost like a vanilla, smooth, almond-like smell. Kind of really reminds me of Givenchy's pie. That kind of gives you different faces of vanilla. But don't get me wrong, it is a vanilla bomb. Now, Gaultier, well, I would say probably Francis K. blended this fragrance really well. I think it is a solid, underrated choice from the house of Gaultier. Something vanilla lovers will enjoy. Why would you hate this fragrance? Well, a lot of reasons. First, it's way too sweet. Guys that like their robust, spicy, woody fragrances, of course, this fragrance is going to be a little too sweet for you. A little too feminine. It is, you know, it's on the unisex side of things, probably more feminine than male. I really think a lot of men can wear it, but some guys just think that this is too feminine. Complexity, it's not complex at all. Yeah, it's a vanilla-based fragrance. That's all you're going to get. So some guys are going to get bored with this fragrance. You know, from hour 1 to 10, it's going to be vanilla. If you don't want to wear vanilla that day, you're SOL with this guy if you started spraying it on your body. Too potent. That's another one. Longevity and projection, beast mode with Gaultier squared. You are going to smell it. Some people like to have fragrances that whisper. This one might be just a little too much, a little cloying for you. So those are reasons why you would hate this fragrance. One word to describe Gaultier squared would have to be sweet. Bottles, classique from Jean-Paul Gaultier, the woman's version. Pie by Givenchy. It's almost uncanny how pie and this fragrance are alike. Best time to wear this fragrance, I would have to say on a cold day. I could wear it daily or at night. But mostly I wear this fragrance because it is in my, I do wear it from time to time, so I do actually wear this mostly on a night out casually. Compliment factor, this thing is absolutely bonkers. Amazing compliment factor. Might be a reason that all my friends, family members love vanilla-based fragrances. That could be a reason why it's amazing. Or maybe it's the longevity and projection of this fragrance. It gets you noticed. It's one of those fragrances that if you want compliments, this one's for you. My 2 cents on Gaultier squared, it's a solid vanilla-based fragrance from Gaultier. I would recommend this as a replacement for Givenchy's pie. Those Givenchy pie lovers, male and female, because I know men and women wear that fragrance. Check this one out. It's a good replacement. This fragrance has solid longevity and projection, which is great. It gets points for that. And it is a solid vanilla-based fragrance, but it does lack a little bit of creativity and substance. With these vanilla bombs, that's what happens. So it is going to dock a little bit of marks on this. It's probably going to get an overall score of a 7 or 8, kind of like Givenchy's pie. Buy, try, or pass. I really think this is nothing really new in the fragrance game, so I gotta put this as a absolute try as a fragrance. Not a buy, not a pass. I really think that this one is good, it's solid. I don't think it's great though. So a definite try it out if it's available in your country. Let's go to the rating system. Alright guys, let's rate Gaultier squared projection. 8 bottles out of 10, actually really good projection on this one. Longevity, 9 bottles out of 10. Again, beast mode, 9 to 12 hours any given wearing. Versatility, this one's going to get a 6. It's not the most versatile fragrance on the market today. Overall smell, I'm going to give this one an 8 bottles out of 10. Compliment factor is pretty high on this guy. Seasons, I would wear this mainly fall and winter, but I could also wear this in a spring night. This is nothing new to the vanilla game. It is a solid overall release from Gaultier, very much a good unisex fragrance. Overall, I'm going to give this one an 8 bottles out of 10. Vanilla lovers, seek this one out.